Hey, what's up, guys? I just want to tell you that this video you're watching, it's just a clip. You could watch the full episode on our YouTube channel. Also, you could check the whole episode on all platforms where podcast streaming is available.
And by the way, I want to ask you that: are there actually? I mean, the Philippines is one of the largest archipelagos in the world. I mean, 7,641 islands. Do all of those islands have people and a dentist, or is it just the 80-20 rule? Or
I mean, as with regards to the Philippines, there are a lot of mountains here, so it's really given that it's mostly people in the city or in like the areas where there are there are buildings and stuff where dentist is very accessible. I know places, and from time to time, we go do this community outreach program, and we go to places where dental treatment is not accessible, and we give them the dental service that we can based on what we could carry, because there is literally sometimes we have to like put on our backpacks the dental materials that we have to use. Like, we can't use an ultrasonic when cleaning, we have to go old school with that. And sometimes the people from that area, they're based on their culture, they have already acclimated themselves to what they used to know. Like, sometimes they would rather brush their teeth with twigs instead of toothbrushes, because that's how they were raised, and that those are the stuff that they knew from their ancestors. And sometimes they don't believe in toothbrushes. I remember I went into uh I think it's Zambales, and it's a tribe of people where I'm like the only dentist there. I brought some dental toothpaste and some toothbrush, but then one of the chieftain was talking to me and saying, I mean, why should I use that if I'm just using this twig, which is cheaper, it's not made of plastic, and I just need to bite on this leaf to alleviate pain. And I had to explain that in the long run, the technology that we have right now, even in a simple toothbrush, is far better than what they are using. And they it's something that you have to explain in a way that you also don't disrespect their culture, because at the end of the day, I mean, I was the visitor visiting, and I just wanted to teach them of what I know. But you still have to find that compromise between you and them.
well put.
Yeah, and yeah, I would go back to what you say. One thing about dentistry is that new information and new technology comes from time to time, and as a dentist, you have to be very vigilant in order to know that if this trend is legit, or is it's gonna blow up. And at the same time, you have to make sure that the price range would be affordable to your patients, because like you said, when braces was a thing, was new in the Philippines, it's very expensive. But right now, um, braces, like if people would install braces here, it's just it we had to go low into $70 just to install a brace, because of all the fashion braces that are coming out. And I do remember you posted one on LinkedIn where you said that fashion braces are also happening in Atlanta.
Right. That is, dentistry is, it's a 2 century old profession, starting with, Pierre Fichard in Paris, France, a barber surgeon that said, let's make this a specialty of medicine. A lot of people think orthodontics is a specialty. Dentistry is a specialty of medicine, and orthodontics is a subspecialty of dentistry. And it's a very old, mature profession, and that pretty much goes up just maybe 1% or 2 higher growth than the GDP growth of a country, except for 2 areas, and that is clear aligners, like Invisalign started that revolution, and implants. And I do think that the young dentists of today, who are going to be practicing for 2 or 3 decades, are going to find that the highest return on investment of their time and money in their practice will be in clear aligners or implants. So you're either going to be a blood and guts guy, and I can usually tell after I see your first root canal, the blood and guts dentists, they like to, they're apical barbarians. They like to get all the way to the apex. They want to puff a sealer out the apex, and they love extractions and blood and implants. But the pulp lovers, the ones that can do a whole root canal without violating the last half millimeter of the canal, they like bleaching, bonding, all that kind of stuff. My gosh, I like I say, I've lectured in 50 countries, and I'm telling you that Invisalign, anywhere you go, any country you go, the minute they find out you're a dentist, the first question they're going to ask you about is Invisalign, because the only goal of a species, I mean, your only job was to reproduce an offspring. I mean, humans have been living for 200,000 years, and all the people that lived before us are the only reason we're alive today. That's why I don't really think it's a great idea to go to graveyards and cemeteries and yell at all the dead people for everything they did wrong when we're all sitting here alive. I mean, okay, they weren't perfect, either are you. But my gosh, braces make you look pretty as a peacock, and their whole goal is to look pretty enough to attract a mate, to mix some gametes with, and make a baby, to reproduce and replace themselves. So I think, and it's also, that is the major driver of implants. When you really look closely at implants, it's not replacing form or function so they can eat and chew and eat their food better. It's because they got a missing bicuspid and there's a blank space there, and that doesn't make them look as pretty as a peacock. So, and you can also tell the income of a country, because when you go to more poor countries, the men, they don't even try. I mean, they're barefoot,
Yeah.
missing half their teeth, but you can see their wife in a more poor country, and she has got all crowns, their upper canine to canine, lower canine to canine. From the front on, she's got these beautiful white porcelain teeth. And again, she has no back teeth. She doesn't have partials. She doesn't need them. So dentistry is very, very psychological. You could have a bad kidney, a bad liver, and nobody knows it. But you're missing your front tooth. Everybody sees it. So the cosmetic part of dentistry, medicine, because everything we do is so visible. But I think a lot of dentists get obsessed with form and function and occlusion and all this kind of thing like that. They don't realize that's not the drivers of why they're giving you money, because like out here in Arizona, I can't tell you how many patients I have that have no teeth, don't wear their dentures, and are 50 pounds overweight. So they don't have a problem eating and chewing food. They're just doing it for self-esteem and to look as pretty as a peacock.
Wow, look at that. You did it, man. You watch until the end of the video, which is so cool, and I love to hear your thoughts about it. So comment down below or follow us on all our social media platforms and tell us about what your thoughts are.